When you eat unhealthy food and you don't exercise and you don't treat your body kind, it doesn't just make you gain fat. That's just one thing that it does, right?
Yeah.
But it affects the way you sleep. It affects your hormones. It affects your stress levels.
Yeah.
It affects your ability to handle stress. So if my girls were here that are 9 and 11, they would tell you they don't like this journey because they're like, Daddy's less patient. He's not as nice. And it's not so much that I'm just like this mean person. I'm sleep deprived, one, so I'm not sleeping as good throughout the night. And when you're not sleeping throughout the night, your hormones shift, right? So your cortisol spikes through the roof, your testosterone drops. And when those things change, you're not the same version of yourself. You know, like for me, I'm more emotional. So like I'll cry during commercials. Like my girls will get mad at me and I'll like, why is this happening? And like my ability to handle stress is not what it was. And to be totally honest and open, you know about this, you know, I had a girlfriend for the past 2 years and she was with me for the first 3 months of this journey, and we joked about us breaking up, and this is really hard for me to still talk about because it's new. We actually went through a breakup 2-3 weeks ago, and it was not easy. It's still not easy, and it was really hard. And here's the thing, because I know you're probably wondering this and other people are wondering this, is like, did this journey cause you guys to break up?
Yeah.
We've had issues before this that we've tried to work through. This journey just amplified those issues. Like I said, my ability to handle stress is not what it was. So let me kind of paint a picture. And this is something that a lot of new parents with a newborn baby might understand. When you're sleep deprived and you're not sleeping throughout the night, you wake up, you're really exhausted, right? So you're kind of in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, any kind of stress from kids, girlfriend, business, finances, you're like, okay, what's the easiest way to get out of this situation, because it's too much stress for my brain and my body to handle. So you're just like putting Band-Aids on everything, right? I'm not showing up as present as I should be. I'm not as, I'm not like my nicest self, right?
Yeah.
I'm not like this mean jerk, but I am more reactive. And anyone that's sleep deprived will tell you, you do become more reactive when you're not sleeping and your hormones are shifting. And so when she's stressed out, she needs attention. I'm like, look, I'm going through my own stuff. I can't give you that, but I know she needs that. And there's just some times where I'm like, I can't do any more than I'm doing.
Right.
Does that make sense? And so it's amplified those issues that we've had. And
No, I get it. So what you're saying is the journey exacerbated certain areas where she may have needed you.
Yeah.
Like kind of like even more. It's kind of like, she needed you in certain areas.
Yeah.
But since she hasn't been getting those, now she needs you even more in those areas, and you're less effective.
Exactly, way less effective.
Yeah. And so that has just kind of like compounded the issues that you guys already had. So I see. So basically, it's like it doesn't help in those relationships.
For sure.
So so if you had to say just say one big thing in terms of how this affects your relationships and what you would encourage people to do, what would it be? So like, for example, I noticed that you said it kind of affects you in all aspects of your mind, and your body. But if you had to encourage people that are struggling on this journey, and tell them, hey, listen, this is kind of like a call to probably look out for in your relationships, what would that be?
That's a really good question. And it would be take care, and this is going to sound kind of selfish, but I promise you it's not. Take care of your health first and foremost, because if you're pouring from an empty cup, you're going to get burnt out. And so this is what's happened to me, and so many people have messaged me since this breakup and they're messaging me like, this has been a huge eye-opener for how, like, me and how I show up to my wife. And now it's starting to connect the dots for people. Like, if you're taking care of your nutrition, you're eating like mostly healthy food. If you're exercising, if you're focusing on getting good amounts of sleep, and you're managing your stress the best you can, I promise you will show up to your significant other way better than you can when you're sleep deprived.
Wow.
You're just eating like shit.
Wow.
You're not exercising. And so that's what I would tell people is, I know it sounds selfish to take care of yourself first and foremost, but I promise you, the version of you that will show up for that person is going to be so much better than that person that's constantly pouring from an empty cup.
Wow.
But our society tells us we're selfish if we do that, right? But then we are pouring from an empty cup, and then you're going to get burnt out eventually.
fresh start, now I'm inside of the game. Eyes full of rage, voice saying rise from the grave. Pixelated grass, bricks full of power ups. Hoping one to steal, I hit it to bring a flower up. Running shoes from Sonic, looking